Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Martyn Lucas Investor. Are we talking the Mona Lisa or Bitcoin? Which is the number one investment? Which one should you hold? Mona Lisa or Bitcoin? Well, we're going to cover all that right now, so get ready for a lively show. I'll be here for 20 minutes, and in this 20 minutes, we are going to go deep dive into Bitcoin or the Mona Lisa. The question is, are you ready? So, tap the like button if you like this, because right after this, we go into the XRP news with Santander, and does XRP compete with Ethereum? Also, consider subscribing. We are very, very close now to hit 100,000 subscribers. I'm making this live in a live show. All my videos are. You can see we have 98,783. We are very, very close now. We're getting closer and closer all the time to our target of 100,000 subscribers. But the nature of today's show is all about Bitcoin and the Mona Lisa. It's a good comparison. So, in this live stream, we're going to talk about Bitcoin, Mona Lisa, liquidity, scarcity, the most important word, as I hope to prove, adoption. But what about the new boy on the block, XRP? We'll touch that, and then we'll deep dive that in about 20 minutes on the next stream. It's all back to back, ready to rock and roll. So, is this the new digital gold? Well, some people are excited. Some people are dancing around, calling Bitcoin digital gold. Is it? Or is it the Wild West? We're all getting a little bit excited. A little bit of aggression. Are we right? It's a merry-go-round. Has the music stopped yet? Well, let's look in the vault, let's take some time, and let's mull it over. You might want to weigh up the options and decide, is Bitcoin digital gold compared to the Mona Lisa? Welcome everybody to the show. Thank you very much indeed. I make all my videos live. I have to rehearse this to get it right. I hope you like it. Click subscribe and ring the bell, and also take part in our poll. So at the beginning of the show, I asked you this. I asked you, is Bitcoin the new Mona Lisa? Digital gold versus timeless art? This is what you said so far, and I'm very surprised, but I'm not. We have a poll running. I'll give you the link for it now. It's the community pages. Here it is. Here is the post there in the chat. I've just made one mistake, but there you go. I'm going to change my camera because it's the wrong camera. It needs to be not camera 4. It needs to be this one. Oops, that's still the wrong camera. I'll get it right in a second. There you go. That's better. I was having a few technical issues there. So we are running a poll right now, and I'm asking, is Bitcoin the new Mona Lisa? I've given you the link in the chat. So far, surprise, surprise, the main question I'm actually asking you, what is the best investment? 58% say the Mona Lisa, and I bet I know why. Because you'll say the technology of Bitcoin is rubbish and XRP is best. We have a big audience here for XRP. That way you're choosing the Mona Lisa over Bitcoin. Well, I hope by the end of this that I'm actually going to prove to you that actually Bitcoin is the best bet. All right, stay with me for 10 minutes and see if I can convince you. Remember, I'm not sponsored by anyone. It's not my job to promote anything here or anything of the such. I'm just giving you my thoughts and letting you decide what's right for you. You tell me. So let's get straight into it. Bitcoin or the Mona Lisa? It's been a question that's been asked many, many times since Bitcoin became more popular. Is it the new digital gold? And why do we even compare it or mention Mona Lisa? Well, there's a good word. There's a good reason. Let me break this down for you, and let's have a look at some points, and then I will give you my thoughts. So, Mona Lisa. We all know it's an art investment. No surprise. Scarcity. Well, there is only one Mona Lisa. It's priceless and essentially not for sale. That's the very definition of a great investment. There's only one. Bitcoin, of course, 21 million, but there will only be 21 million. You could regard that as one in a way, because one person could own all 21 million at some point. Even if it were, the buyer's pool is limited to ultra wealthy collectors or governments. The same could be said of Bitcoin in time, just a little bit early yet. Liquidity, extremely low. You can't sell it quickly or fractionally. Of course, you can sell Bitcoin fractionally, but you can't sell it quickly either. When it's all bought up, we all 21 million are mined, and it's $1 million or 2 million or 100 million, whatever price you want to call it. Our auctions can take months or years. Now, this is one of the things that's often talked about with Bitcoin, the fact that we do have the cost of selling. You have the cost of selling with art, like the Mona Lisa, security, commission on the sellers and the auctions. There's a lot of money involved to move a piece of art from one place to the other. Sound familiar? Returns. Historical masterpieces tend to appreciate steadily over centuries, but returns are slow and tied to exclusivity, provenance, and cultural value. Now, that's important to talk about. With historical masterpieces tend to appreciate steadily over centuries. It's like, what makes this important? Well, we hooked into the idea of Leonardo da Vinci producing this art that we all appreciate and love. But most people, honestly, wouldn't tell a good art if it bit them in the arse. They don't really know. However, we've adopted it. We've made it the centerpiece. People who buy it now buy it not necessarily for the beauty or the functionality or anything else like it, just because it is a one-off and it's sought after. It is desired. It has a fundamental value now because it is scarce and it is wanted. And this is the key to what I'm going to come on to in a moment with Bitcoin. Risk, very low chance of going to zero, but also little to no practical accessibility for most investors. Right? Okay, let's move on to Bitcoin and compare the two. Bitcoin, scarcity, hard capped at 21 million coins. So if everybody bought, if one person bought all 21 million, I mean, it's possible, then it would be the same as the Mona Lisa, right? Digital scarcity makes it comparable to digital gold. Liquidity, extremely high. You can trade Bitcoin 24/7 globally, instantly, and even in small amounts. That gives it an advantage. Returns. Historically, Bitcoin has been one of the best performing assets of the last decade. High upside potential, but very volatile. However, diminishing returns and becoming less volatile over time. Risk, regulatory uncertainty, market swings, competition from other cryptos, and technological risks make it much riskier than traditional art. However, it's not about the technology anymore, because now it's been adopted. Now, this is the point. Years ago, I had no interest in Bitcoin. Now I'm buying tons of Bitcoin, tons of Ethereum, and tons of XRP. The XRP Ethereum debate will come up in the next live stream in about 15 minutes. Stay with me, or if you're watching later, I'll give you the link at the end. Also, a chance to win $1,000 of XRP as well, paid out live on the show. Stick to the end for those links. So, it's not about technology anymore. It's about adoption. Because at the end of the day, if people desire it, they own it. It doesn't really matter if you understand it or even believe it or get it. We often get on a plane or in the back of a car. We don't know the condition of the car. We don't know how the plane really works, but we believe in it now. We trust in it now. What makes Bitcoin, for me, investable is because of its scarcity, the security of it. We know who owns it. Unlike art can be stolen. You never know where it's gone. We know where the Bitcoin's gone, and when the wallet becomes active, we can seize it. So it's more secure. We've proved the technology works. We wouldn't be spending all this time with miners, spending years and years and years to solve the equations if it was just something you could solve in 5 minutes on the back of a cigarette packet. We know it's secure, and we know it's traceable, and we know it's limited, and most importantly, we now know it's adopted. Now, some people will argue the scary part of Bitcoin is, what if one person owns it all, BlackRock or Michael Saylor, and then dumps it all? That's not going to happen. Why? Well, it's the same analogy to one person owns the Mona Lisa. They wouldn't just dump it, would they, down the local car boot sale? They would put it on sale and somebody would want to buy it and it would go up in price. It's exactly the same with Bitcoin. Once Bitcoin becomes more widely adopted, the institutions that own it won't be looking to sell it, because institutions aren't like retail investors. The people that buy the Mona Lisa aren't like regular retail investors. They're not looking for a quick buck. They're looking for power to own and control. That is the difference. Because if you own Bitcoin, it's not something you should be considering trading. The costs are too high, the spreads and so on and so forth, and then the tax you might have to pay. Well, you will have to pay if you are selling the coin rather than the ETF on an IRA, for example. There's expenses involved. No. The reason for buying Bitcoin is to hold it and borrow against it. Use it for control. Use it for digital capital. I now understand that. And I built a portfolio, as you know, nearly $400,000 now, from $5,000 in 4 years. And I want to own something I can own forever, but also be able to access if I ever need to. I can't do that with the Mona Lisa. So it's not about the technology anymore. It's about adoption. It's being adopted everywhere. So we all buy a piece. You don't have to understand it. It doesn't really matter if you do or not. And it doesn't matter if a handful of people own it all. One person owns the Mona Lisa, or an identity, or a small group of people anyway. So it doesn't make any difference. In fact, it makes it more secure. Because if Bitcoin was a binky bunk fart coin and it wasn't owned by anyone of any note, just a bunch of people on Reddit, then you could go to zero in 5 minutes. There's no real liquidity. Anyone can dump it on anybody. However, BlackRock are not in the business of dumping all their assets. They own Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Google, and they don't just dump all of it. And as you can see, these assets over time have all gone up. So it's not a scary proposition to have a big institution owning something that everybody wants. It makes it more desirable and more people want to buy it, and the price just keeps going up. So which is better? Well, if you're looking for stability and cultural legacy, the Mona Lisa wins. Well, we're not talking about cultural legacy. We're on about investment. What is the best investment? Well, I argue the best investment would be Bitcoin. Stability, well, stability up to this point. However, over time, now it's been proven that Bitcoin is becoming more and more stable and diminishing returns, and it's going to become even more stable over time. But it's not realistically accessible to invest in. It's not. The Mona Lisa isn't something that you can get in and out of. However, at some point, you won't be able to get in and out of Bitcoin either, because the price will be so high, you probably won't want to buy it, or you'll just hold it forever. If you're seeking liquidity, accessibility, and high risk, high reward potential, Bitcoin wins. In practice, for everyday investors, Bitcoin is the only realistic option. The Mona Lisa is more of a metaphor for timeless, illiquid value, while Bitcoin is an emerging, tradable and scalable form of scarce digital asset. However, over time, I argue that Bitcoin will become as scarce and as valuable and as sought after as the Mona Lisa. Now, do you agree? Let me go back to my poll and have a little look. At the beginning of the poll, at the beginning of the show, we were 58% of you with 50 votes. Let me give you the link again, and if you're watching this later, I will give it to you later and you can access it. There is There is the link there. But we had 50 votes. 58% said the best investment would be the Mona Lisa. And I think it's because my audience, predominantly XRP, are focused on the technology. You shouldn't be focused on the technology. You should be focused on the adoption, the only thing that really matters. So let's see, 50 votes and 58%. We are now at 62 votes and 60%. So it doesn't look like I was able to convince you. More people have said the Mona Lisa. And that tells me that I'm right, because my polls nearly always are the opposite to what I think, and I do them anyway, and I've done pretty well out of it. Remember, I started with $5,000 just 4 years ago. I don't do options, I don't do shorts, but I do buy with conviction. My portfolio now is 240. In my main account, my crypto is up to 63, just the crypto. With the ETFs combined, we are over $100,000. My overall portfolio is 285 plus the Roth IRA of 43. So you can see, and what I've got invested is 310 plus 40. So currently around about the 360 invested, with no options, with no shorts. So it's worth mentioning in this video, though, because we're now going to cover XRP and Ethereum. Some people are now selling selling Ethereum to buy Bitcoin. Some people are selling their Bitcoin to buy Ethereum. It's going a bit of both ways. You might want to be trimming if you're up, but if you're down, you want to be buying the other ones. It's going backwards and forwards, but money is coming out of Bitcoin at the moment to buy XRP and Ethereum. And there's good reason. In this next part of the show, in about 5 minutes, we're going to discuss XRP and Ethereum and the new deal with Santander. I reported on my social media, and now I'm going to show you the evidence for that and discuss which one is best, XRP or Ethereum, or does either one of those beat Bitcoin? So that's coming up next in a second. Let me take it back down to my Bitcoin for a moment, and now take you over to the next part of the show. This is what I want to show you next. In a couple of seconds, we're going to go live with this. XRP is on the rails with Santander. This is what I'm covering next. I've got 63 people actually waiting already to watch this one. This goes live in a moment. I expect this to be a big thing. And as I did say yesterday, this would be the day in my post today. And as you can see, Bitcoin is now coming up. In fact, all of our favorite crypto is coming up today. XRP is rallying. No surprise there. Ethereum is rallying, no surprise there. See it going to $12,000. You can see I've been buying a lot more. I've now got 5,300 XRP, a quarter of a Bitcoin, plus, of course, the ETFs and the position on my IRA. And I've now got 3.18 in Ethereum. But I've also got triple that because of the ETFs. We're going to come on in the next part talking about how many people are locking up their Ethereum and why they're locking it up. That's in the next part. So I hope you've enjoyed this first part. Thank you very much for all the comments and questions. I haven't got a chance to answer them now, but please consider liking the video. We've only got 62 likes at the moment. If you could tap the like button, there's 162 of you watching, and consider subscribing. And I'm also going to give you, as promised, the chance to win $1,000 in XRP. Plus, a lot of people are going to get some prizes as well. Here is our giveaway. It's martynlucas.com / giveaway. martynlucas.com / giveaway. Now, if you are watching later, I will pin this in the comments description and give you the link at the end. But if you are watching live, it's in the chat. We're giving away $1,000 in XRP. So we're now going to go over to our next event, XRP. The rails have come off with Santander. What is that all about? Well, you're about to find out. Thank you very much for joining me. The only question that you need to ask yourself right now is adoption. People are focusing on technology and comparing things, and they're missing the point. Years ago, people would have compared the Mona Lisa to something else. Now no one even cares about the competition. They only want the Mona Lisa. We're at that point now with Bitcoin. You might not like it, you might not agree with it, but in 100 years from now, nobody will care what you thought about it, whether you liked it or not. Leonardo da Vinci, when he painted the Mona Lisa, was a nobody. Nobody really cared. Well, they care today, and they care for one reason and one reason only: scarcity, but most importantly, adoption. But as I posted on this, is XRP about to take the crown? We'll discuss the differences on the next episode, which starts in 2 minutes. Stay right where you are. It'll automatically take you there, or it's pinned to the top. I'll also give you a link in the chat if you wish to click on it. And finally, we'll end the poll here. What is the best investment, BTC or Mona Lisa? Now we have 176 votes, and it has swayed in the favour that I suggested. BTC, 66%. There it is. I rest my case. Fantastic. Now join me for the next part: Ethereum, XRP, and how it compares with Santander to the rest. That's it from me. Thank you very much. Stay where you are. Click on the link, and I'll see you there in just 1 minute for part 2. XRP versus Ethereum with the deal from Santander. Click above my head for all the links down below in the description. Also pinned down here below, everything you need. Over here, I shall put the next episode, which is XRP. And down here, I shall put the $1,000 giveaway. We're giving away $1,000 free to enter and free for all. Now join me for the next part in the series. Take care of yourselves and each other.